end of week technical analysis video. We're going to be jumping straight into things here. As you know, this blue vertical line represents the last point in which we left off in our markets. And as you can see, we don't have much information to go over. Not much has actually happened this week. We are on hour 4, so obviously when we go down to our hour 1, we'll see a lot more information. But we're just going to start off from hour 4 here. So I remember talking about this trend line that we had marked in, and we realized that the price was respecting it. If we go down to our hour 1 real quick, I remember saying that if we see price respect this level, we'll most likely see a breakthrough 2645 and a continuation on down. As you can see, price has broken into the 2500 range by about 150, 160 pips, with price then creeping back to the lows to 2600s. If I go back to my hour 4, just so you can see these arrows better. So we have this bullish marking, this bullish arrow marking where the potential bullish move that we would be able to see if we did see that trend line broken through and the 2675 level broken through. As you can see, price has become bearish, so we're going to go ahead and delete this. And if you have a look, our bearish arrow, we did expect price to come down to the low 2500s. If we did see a respect on that trend line, and as you can see, we have had that respect on that trend line that we was looking for if price was going to go bearish. So what we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to go do our normal thing. We're going to grab ourselves a path here, and we're just going to mark in roughly what's happened since we last left off. Just grabbing the smallest bit of data, the key data. We don't need to cover every single candlestick. We just want to cover roughly from point to point what's happened. If I just almost do that there, bang, right, okay, cool, and then we're down roughly there. So as you can see, price has become bearish. We respected that trend line area, and we tested it as a resistance, not once, not twice, but almost 3 times. And then price came below this 2645 level, a point of interest that we have marked in. Price came back up above that level, tested around that level before price then continued on. This was late evening on the Wednesday. Obviously, I say evening time for us. We are based in the UK, so we are in GMT time. So yeah, as you can see, price did become bearish. Then we saw a test on one of our low point of interest levels at 2585, and then price came all the way back up to 2625. So you've roughly got around a 400 pip range from that area to that area, and then since then price has just come back down to test near that 2685, 2686 level, and price has slowly been creeping back up now. As you can see, if I go down to our minute 15 candlestick, as you can see, price has tested at this level of 2606 as a resistance, giving us a key indication that this price is going to be held down as of right now. But as you can see, we have found some sort of support on this level here, which is definitely a point where we've tested as a resistance before. And I'm sure if I go even further back, we can see that price has been tested before. So what we're looking for here is a break through this 2605 level. If we see a break through this 2605 level, we'll most likely see our next point of interest touched at around 2614. If we see price respect this level as it looks to be doing, as you can see, there has been a big battle on this level around 2605 between the bulls and bears, and the bears look to have won. You can see that price is testing as a resistance here. There is obviously a lot of volume inside the market as of right now. We are well into London session and creeping closer to our New York session open. But yeah, so we could, if we see this resistance hold and we see price continue on bearish, we'll most likely see either the 2592 level, or even further we could see the 2585 level. There is a point of interest that we have marked in, which is the 2575 level. If we see a strong bearish continuation from the New York session volatility, most likely we'll see that level broken into, or close. We'll most likely see price close down towards that level. Obviously, we don't have much left of the market. If I go ahead and go to our daily, if I just remove these 2 marks just so it cleans up a little bit, we go to our daily. As you can see, if I go ahead and zoom in, as you can see, we have had a big bearish candlestick, which is that bearish drop that we saw after price tested and respected that trend line. Obviously, if you remember, this trend line, I believe, was marked in on either our hour 4 or our daily. And as you can see, we did have a break through it before price came back down to test it as resistance, and price has come back down now. bulls did push up the market yesterday. As you can see by the size of this wick, the bulls did push up, but the bears got a hold of the market and pushed price all the way back down. And as you can see right now, with 9 hours and 39 minutes left of the today before market closes at 10 p.m. tonight, 10 p.m. GMT UK time, we'll most likely see this sort of battle between the bulls and bears. We most likely won't see any big volume. The only volume that we could see is that push down to around the 2575 level, like we just spoke about. The likelihood of price dropping all the way down to around 2561 today is unlikely. However, if we go to our weekly and have a look, as you can see, this has been quite a bearish week for gold. And if we see a bearish continuation, we'll most likely see a higher time frame bearish continuation, potentially dropping price into the 2400 range, which is crazy, as we was nearing the 2800 range not too long ago. But yeah, so that's just how gold is. Gold is very volatile and it moves very quickly. So yeah, but if we see price hold this bearish momentum and we don't see bulls take over the market, we most likely will see that 2575 level broken through and then a continuation, meaning that next week we could see as close to the 2400 ranges as we could. So if we go back down to our hour one now, as you can see on our hour one, it's been like I just said, it's been a fight between the bulls and the bears. There is definitely signs of resistance at that 2605 level, and that's just normally what happens around point of interest, really. Anything could happen at this point. Bulls could completely take over the market and we could see price push up again. Short term, looking at our minute 15, if we see price break past that 2605 level where price has found resistance, in fact, I will go ahead and grab an eclipse and mark that in, just so you can see what I'm looking about when talking about when I'm talking about resistance. I'm talking about this area here. As you can see, we've had price action test and have a lot of wicks on both sides, indicating to us that this is a resistance as it is holding price down. Looking at the level that we are testing on a previous resistance as a support here. So it's definitely a level where price could push up from. If I go down to even further, if we go down to our minute one real quick, as you can see, if I go ahead and reset price scale and zoom out all the way, as you can see, we are just sort of in that range again, testing around this level, this level, this level, this level, and this level. So it's definitely a place where price will react. As you can see, where that eclipse is, price has tested this level strongly as a resistance. We know what I'm going to go ahead and do, because we're not really seeing the information in the candlesticks. I'm going to look at the line chart. As you can see, yeah, so price has tested this area as a resistance, but it looks to be price is creeping slightly back up. If I go ahead and go back to our candlesticks real quick and reset price scale. So yeah, as you can see, price on the short term, if we look at it in this from a scalping point of view, if we could mark in our trend line from point A to point B, capture as many wicks as we can, price is testing that trend line there, and we are obviously at it right now as we speak. But yeah, it's mainly going to be about that minute 15 level. If I keep that trend line there just for now, it's going to be about that minute 15 level, and if we see this point of 2605 broken, most likely we'll see a bullish continuation for today. Next week will most likely be bearish, taking into consideration that this week has been extremely bearish. We might have a slight bullish retracement for the start of the week. However, the end of the week will most likely finish lower than the open. So as you can see, again, if you look at the top left here, we are closing down. We're coming closer now to our 2500 levels, which is crazy, but that is just what gold does. Obviously, we are traders, so it doesn't matter if the market is going up or down, because we can trade either way. That is the beauty of Forex trading. So I think that's going to be about it for this week, for this end of week. Not much has actually happened. Obviously, we saw a big bearish move on the Wednesday, sort of midweek, and then price came back up and sort of consolidated. And as you can see, the momentum in comparison to these 2 days for Friday isn't that much. But obviously, we have our New York session starting up in about an hour and 20 minutes. We might also have some high impacting news, which could have an impact on the market today, but I don't think it's going to be anything great. So yeah, it's sort of in a stagnant, in a weird area right now. If we see price test at this 2605 level and continue on bearish from this point onwards, most likely we'll see price come nearer to that 2575 level. If we see this resistance broke of 2605, there's no way that we'll see 2645 level, the 2645 level hit, but we could potentially see around 2626 tested. That's going to be that for the end of week technical analysis. I hope you lot have enjoyed. I'm going to wrap this one up here. Stay tuned for our start of week technical analysis. I believe, let me have a look at my calendar real quick if you just bear with me. So Christmas Day is on the 25th. The market doesn't really stop. It will stay out open, I believe, but there'll be a few pairs that are closed. Obviously the world doesn't stop just because it's Christmas. So the market will still be moving. I will definitely still drop our midweek technical analysis on the Wednesday as well when it's the 25th. So stay tuned. Things will be running as normal. I'm sure signals will still be being sent as well. Make back that money if you do celebrate throughout this festive season. Make back that money that you spent on Christmas presents for your friends, family, and whoever else it might be. But yeah, that's going to be me. I'm going to wrap this one up. That's gold signals for you, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Remember, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We really appreciate it. I will be going through the comments. I believe we've had a few comments on our last 1 or 2 videos, so I'm going to go ahead and reply after I have exported, uploaded, and posted this technical analysis. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed. Good luck next week. If you have made any profit this week, as you all know, make sure to withdraw from some for yourself. Don't just keep it in there, as you might end up losing it, unless you stick to our risk management, of course. Remember, risk 1 to 2% per trade, and move your stop loss to break even after take profit when it's hit. So yeah, that's been me, gold signals. Hope you have enjoyed. Peace.